Hello everyone, it's Sketchbox time. Let's see what's in the April 2026 premium Sketchbox for this month. Got that. Get the noisy tissue paper out of the way. Oh my goodness, that looks so cute. Okay, this is a make your own watercolor premium box. And you know what? I'm pretty sure I've had a box like this in the past. But I've been getting this Sketchbox for a while, so we'll see if it's the same, similar, different. I will link that and let you know when that was, with a title or something. Okay, we've got instructions for a painting. Looks like landscape. Ooh, that's pretty. Moving on, let's see. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Instructions on what's in it. This is pretty color here. Oh, and we have to look at the sticker. A favorite item. Cute. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the box so I don't lose it. And let's see, I want to look at this. I am gonna, well, I think I have to open some things. Let me open some things. That took a little bit. I've got most of it, I think all of it out of its packaging. And we got 5 of these little tubs here with this cute little spoon. And I have right here the items from the other box, which was a couple years ago. We got 3 tubs of Sketchbox signature, a white little spoon, and this is something Pearlix. And it looks like the bottle of gum arabic from that previous box a couple years ago is pretty much identical. You can see I didn't use that much of it. I need to do some more research and maybe get onto the making. I don't know, I love playing with color a little more than making the colors, so it's a bit sciencey, and yeah, wow, there seems to be not very much pigment in there. But I think they said something about putting less in to make it less messy. Personally, I didn't have a problem with these tubs being over full. That's how full this one was, and you know, I think I only made one thing out of it, so yeah, that means I didn't use it enough. Okay, I got the sizing off the brush. I want to look at this cute little item. It's a 12-pan portable palette. It says pour your new colors into this palette to dry and take them with you, which is so cute. It's a little plastic thing. I think that's plastic too. I'm not sure if that can come out for cleaning. It doesn't look like it. But these guys can be swapped out and you can change it, move them around, etc. And this is a nice sunny color. I like this. Moves around a little. We'll have to make something to use that. Then we have the Sketchbox Signature Professional Cold Press Watercolor. It's 100% cotton, 300 GSM. And I guess that's it for information. What else does it say? Oh, they've worked with a paper company to develop their own cold press paper so they could offer it at a more affordable price without making sacrifices in thickness or quality. They're giving this a value of $8, $7.99. I hope it's as good. I'd love to know what that paper company is. Maybe it just costs more to name it. But you know, because we'll just see. I like that they've got the information about it being 100% cotton and the 300 GSM, but you know, sometimes their Sketchbox signature stuff is lacking in information, and that sort of lacks a level of transparency that I would like to see. So, oh, here I went and opened this. This is the only not Sketchbox branded item in this month's box, it seems. Unless maybe, well, these guys might not be Sketchbox. So this is a Sakura sketch brush pen in rose, which I think might be a pretty lovely color. It's waterproof, flexible. This is, can you see the nib there? That's what they mean by brush, because it's not like rounded like a bullet, I guess. And I'm gonna go light on the upstroke, heavy pressure on the downstroke, light on the upstroke, heavy pressure. I'm not good at lettering, but look at the difference in the lines you can get there. Okay, you gotta go slow or you're gonna get the dry brush effect. I'm just talking to myself in case you're wondering. And then it's Rose. I'm gonna just say Rose, Sakura, Pin. And that is it. That's the only thing I can swatch out right now, because everything else requires a little more effort. But this is a beautiful color. I will get closer so you can see what I was saying about thin on the up. Sorry. Thin on the up, thick or heavy pressure, light pressure on the upstroke, heavy on the down. So you can get a variety of lines. Boy, that was a mouthful. I'm sorry that came out so jumbled. Okay, this I think is an improvement from the first watercolor making box that I got. We had like a plastic palette. These are metal, and the issue I had with the box a couple years ago, my pigment powders were reacting to the static and jumping around literally. And yeah, check that video out if you want to see that. Well, wait a minute. Was there any instruction on how to do this? Nothing on the plastic. Let's see. The internet's the largest site of hard-to-find, custom, unique, and high-quality art supplies. Okay. Mix with gum Arabic to create your own watercolors. Mix multiple powders. It says it can also be added to a small amount of water to create a staining effect on your art surface. That doesn't really tell me how much, but in the other box, oh man, that's hard to open. Oh, and it's sealed, of course. Ooh, what color do I have here? In the other box, I think I did a scoop to a little bit. This is Smitten. Smitten Kitten? I don't know why I'm rhyming that. Let's try. I'm gonna go for a small amount. And I think I'm just gonna do one of these, like, on camera, and then I'll mix them all up. Yes, making sure I'm still in frame, and then swatch them out, because otherwise we are going to be here all day. Since I already have it, I don't know if I need to, like, remix it together. I'm just gonna go straight in with this one. The other thing, which I haven't done any research on, whoa, I don't know what's happening here, but that's, do we still have static in here? I don't know. There's some weird movement going on. Could you see that, or is that just me? Well, if there is a static effect, I'm gonna have to eat my words. I have some toothpicks in a little empty mechanical pencil tube there. Thought I'd use them to mix so I don't get the spoon all dirty again. Think I'm gonna need a little more gum Arabic. What do you guys think? Let's try. This is interesting. The color looked kind of a gray purple, and it's pink maybe? I don't know. Boy, I'm not very good at this. I don't know if they're, like I said, I don't know if they're static or what's happening, or if the powder's just clinging to the metal dish. And I can't remember if I started a sentence and didn't finish it, but I think I was gonna say something about not knowing how to make my own watercolors, and that I think I saw someone saying that there might be more ingredients, like more than just gum Arabic and pigment in watercolors. So gum Arabic would be the binder, pigment the color, but there might be other ingredients, which I don't know about. Okay, wow, it's, when I just wipe the toothpick off there, it looks just like the rose. Let me just see here what we got. It's not fully mixed, But I was just doing a little amount. We only have 3 of these mixing trays here. Ooh, it's a very similar color. Now, I wonder if you just put more powder in, does it make it a deeper color? This is a beautiful color. I have to say, I like this color. What would you call this color? I mean, I could call it rose. Okay, let's have a closer look. And it's still wet, and then I'm going to pause the camera and mix at least a few others. I think I want to make a little more of this. This is pretty... Okay, pausing, and we'll catch up in a minute. I have put some together here and made quite a mess. You can see some of the little mixing pots, and this one, wow, it was thicker, and I still have a lot in the pan. That would be lemon. So I think I'll just swatch it straight from this little mixing pan. I did find a recipe online. I think it's by jacksonart.com in a blog making handmade watercolors, and they recommend a solution of gum arabic, glycerin, honey, and a drop of clove oil. And I think the glycerin is kind of like a humectant. The honey is definitely... I don't have any honey that I wanted to put in here, but I do happen to have vegetable glycerin, and I mean, it's way too much, probably, for this small amount, but I just tried to put a tiny drop in, not obviously in Smitten, but I think in the other 4 that I put together. And then also, I happen to have a bunch of essential oils, so I've got lavender and lemon here. That, I think, is antimicrobial. These are naturally antimicrobial to keep, you know, things from growing in there. And so for the lemon, I put that in golden hour, sea glass, and lemon, of course. And then the lavender I put into the thistle color. And it smells really nice too, so we'll see. So this was the one I did with just the gum arabic, and it's right here. And I think that if I were to improve on this, I could definitely be a little more consistent in, like, quantities. I am just kind of winging it. And wow, I have a ton of this still in the pan. Look how bright this lemon pigment is. I think I put a lot of pigment in, and you didn't see me mixing it because I was doing it off camera, but look at that, wow. And then, oh my goodness, I want to show you the water. Let me see if I can bring it over. It's like a lime green because it had just a hint of blue in there. This has, it's very vivid, this. Oh, it's, my water's almost fluorescent, and I can't seem to get the brush clean. Okay, so these pigments do seem to be pretty strong. Okay, here's the leftover thistle. I think I'm just gonna let it dry in my little pan there, and I used a Sharpie. On this one, Smitten, I used this Sakura, but maybe it's smudging. Sharpie seems to go on pretty well on the little plastic pans. I usually identify my pans with a Sharpie anyway, because otherwise you know I'm forgetting what's in there. And I would like to remember what I put in there. This is interesting because it has like a blue and a purple pigment, but it's not, I don't know, did I not do a good job of mixing it? Now, I think that on this other recipe that I looked up, they talk about using like a glass palette or something. I think there's some amount of grinding and mixing going on, and so I don't know if these pigments already had that, you know, they don't need that kind of thing, or if I could do a better job of mixing these together. This'll, it's a beautiful mixture, and there's some weird dryness. Maybe this is the pigment powder's dried on the side there, but wow, look at this. Parts of it are kind of a pinky violet, but now I've got this deep indigo type of blue going on. So I don't know what. I'm gonna have to look at it after it's dry in the pan and see what happens. I don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm gonna run out of space, but this is more of a blue color. And I thought it was purple or violet. It's beautiful. And then there's a pinky pigment there. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's throw some water on it. Oops. Come on. Not just on my paper. I want to throw the water on... I am not having a good time here. There. We'll do that. And then this, get off there. Because maybe it's like granulating. This is kind of dry. I don't know what's going to happen there. Trying to put water on them when they're already dry. Sea glass also, I already emptied out the pan, but when I was mixing it, it like had two distinct pigments going on, and like when I mixed it together, it was this beautiful blue teal color. So yeah, look at this. So I'm a little confused because I don't know what's supposed to happen. Hey, if you're familiar with the whole making your own watercolors, let me know in the comments. Is this what's supposed to happen here? Or should it be like more ground together, mixed together? Because I don't know what. There's like a lot of lack of control here. Like at first it's this color, this kind of light green, and then you know, you add the water and it's this beautiful sea color, sea green, and then I've got like unmixed in pigments, so I'm not sure. I am perplexed. I need help. Let me know. But this is fun. This little mixing, it's kind of like it feels like the craziness of wetting paper and then putting pigment powders on, if you've ever played with pigment powders. And it's sort of fun if you have no expectation of what's going to happen. But if you're like going for a certain color, this would be hard. Now this golden hour is like, it's almost like straight mica. Like clear with just gold. I can't think of the word. But the little pigments, it's like not color, it's just shimmer. And we've got a lot of fun color happening there. Let me bring this up to the camera. So that is really pretty. I think that in lieu of trying to do something recognizable, shall we say, I am just going to play with some color and make sort of an abstract art piece, and maybe I'll speed that up and put some music or something, because otherwise, you know, it might take a while. But yeah, because I'm kind of not sure about this, and I need to spend some more time, but also I am on a time crunch because I am about to head out of town. So I got this just in time. I was gonna have to be late. Alright, that was quite a struggle. I don't even want to show you the first two attempts at abstract. This ended up not being as abstract, but it's pretty, I think. It's sort of impressionist-ish, and I tried to throw in the pen at the end. This was fun, very messy, and yeah, what do you guys think of this box? I think I need to work on this. So I hope you enjoyed seeing the contents and me messing around with them and my thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!